Hi, everyone, and good evening. Happy New Year. It's great to be here again live with you all. I have not been live for a while, so I'm excited to be back. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Attorney Yael Brudner, and I am an immigration attorney. I practice here in Southern California. That's where my office is. However, I do serve clients throughout the US and all over the world. And today I am here to answer any immigration questions that you might have, share some updates, and answer some questions that I received during the week, the last few days. We get a lot of questions through Facebook, through Instagram, TikTok, email, YouTube. We get questions from all over. So I kind of picked the 4 or 5 questions that we saw more than once, multiple people interested in, and I'm going to answer them today. And if you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to just write them in the comments and I will try to get to them. I am streaming on multiple platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, at the same time. So I hope I don't miss your question. If I did miss your question, feel free to reach out to me, send me a direct message, and I'll happy to answer. Okay, so some updates. We just heard a couple of days ago from USCIS that they, guess what, are experiencing extreme delays and backlogs, which is funny because they did not surprise us. Like, we know this. We've been seeing this throughout the board with a lot of our cases, a lot of delays. USCIS, they said it's because of COVID and because of low staffing. We can't know exactly why, but we're seeing delays with receipt notices, with adjudication of cases. If in the past it would take a week or to 3 weeks to get a receipt notice after you file an application or a petition, now we're seeing that it's taking almost 6 to 8 weeks to get even a receipt notice. And for those of you that don't know, a receipt notice is just an acknowledgement that USCIS received the case and it's in processing, and it gives us the feedback that we know, okay, they got it, they have it, they're processing it. And it's also proof of filing. A lot of people need this proof of filing for different reasons. So I see a question on TikTok. In which state are you based? Well, I'm based in California, in Southern California, Orange County, specifically Newport Beach. However, we do represent clients throughout the US, all over, and around the world, actually around the globe. So luckily, immigration law is federal law. So an attorney from anywhere in the US can represent you. It's not state specific. Let's see, let's just jump into some of the questions. Mohammed is asking, I applied for a green card, which is I-45 based on asylum, and I made a few mistakes. What am I going to do now? Well, thanks for the question, Mohammed. It depends what the mistakes are. If you just filed your 45, then you would have still an opportunity to fix mistakes at an interview. Things like typos, dates, addresses, or you forgot to write anything, you can still fix it at the interview. Okay, usually mistakes like that can be fixable. If you want to consult with me specifically, feel free to reach out to schedule a consultation. If you want me to review your case with you, you can send me a message or reach out through my information in my bio or on my number. Okay, that is here on Facebook. I listed it. I don't think on TikTok it appears. I'm not sure. Let's see. So moving on. So like I said, USCIS just said that they are experiencing delays, which we knew, but now it's official. We just really need to be patient and monitor. Really, what I say to my clients, check your bank account, check your credit card, see if the cash was checked, see if they charge your credit card for the filing fees. Usually that's a great sign that that they received the case, and the receipt notice will be coming soon. Another thing is to make sure that you can track the delivery of your application or petition. So if you're sending something in to immigration, make sure that you have a tracking number that you can track that it was delivered. Okay. Wonderful. So if you're joining me right now, first of all, thank you for joining this late in the evening or at night, depending where you are. I'm immigration attorney Yael Brudner. I am answering questions about immigration, providing some updates. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, write them in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as we go. Rag is saying, thank you for coming online. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so I wanted to share some questions that people asked during the week through our Facebook, mostly Instagram, and private messages. So this is a question that we've seen a lot, not just this past week. We've seen it throughout the last few months. I'm a green card holder. I've been stuck outside the US for more than 6 months due to COVID-19. Will I be allowed to enter the US? Now, this is really relevant for a lot of people because if you have a green card, you can travel back and forth. However, if you leave the US for an extended amount of time, usually more than a year or more, you can be accused of abandoning your residency. And at the border, they can give you problems, and they can even take your green card from you and place you in deportation proceedings, okay, if they believe that you have abandoned your residency here in the US. Now, if you've been outside the US for more than 6 months and less than a year, most likely you're going to be okay when you come back in, okay? People say 6 months, never leave more than 6 months. It's true, but honestly, you could come back and forth every 6 months and still be accused of abandoning your residency. Okay, but let's say you left for more than 6 months and you now are trying to come back in. It's less than 1 year. Then absolutely, I would recommend coming back with evidence and proof to show that you have not abandoned your residency in the US. So if you're still paying for your lease, if you are still, if you have family members here in the US that are here, if you have children that are here or a spouse that's still here, if you didn't quit your job, you still have a job to come back to. Anything that you can prove that you did not abandon your residency in the US is good to have with you at the border when you come in, just in case you get questioned about it, just in case you get asked. You might not even get asked, but just in case you do. Another thing to show is that you attempted to book a flight to come back, but you couldn't because of COVID. People have been coming with flight cancellations, so they can show that they did book a flight, however, the flight was canceled. Okay. Another thing to show is that you have not taken residency in your home country or where you were for the last 6 months. You haven't taken a job, you haven't bought a house, you have no ties as much. You don't have as much ties there in your home country as you have here in the US, because this is where you reside. Okay. If you want more information if this is your scenario and you want more information, we can help you. We can prepare you for when you come in, really what to say and how to show the officer that they should let you in, that you have not abandoned your residency in the US. The most important thing I tell all my clients or anyone in this scenario is never to sign anything at the border saying that you're abandoning your residency. Never, never, never. Okay? Don't do that. Because sometimes the officers would try to convince you, oh, just sign this. You don't really want to be a green card holder. Just come in as a tourist. You don't really live here. Never do that. Now, if you've left for more than a year, then that's a little different, and you might consider applying at the consulate or embassy of your home country for a returning resident visa, an SB1 visa, and that's a different process that I won't really get into it right now because it's a little complicated. But if you've left the US for more than 6 months and less than 1 year, you really shouldn't have a problem at the border if you come prepared. Okay. Okay, let me see if there's any more questions here on Facebook or on TikTok. Okay. So Rag is saying, I have my visa issue updated status to RFE on 10/19, but have not received a notice from USCIS for my H-1B. Okay, so you're checking online your case status and you see that it says RFE was issued, but you've never received an RFE. So first of all, if you filed an H-1B, most likely that you have an attorney or the company has an attorney. So it might have, the company attorney and the company might have received a copy of that RFE. So it's definitely a good idea to check in with them. And also, if they haven't received anything, then you or the attorney for the company should definitely reach out to the USCIS contact number, and ask for the RFE. Okay, ask for a copy of the RFE. First of all, you will be reporting that you've not received the RFE, which would be evidence in the future to prove that you really didn't get the RFE, because RFE is case sensitive. You usually have 90 days to respond. Okay, so definitely talk to the company lawyer, and if you don't have a company lawyer, definitely reach out to USCIS and try to get a copy of the RFE. Now, USCIS might not give you a copy of an RFE, right? It only may give it to the company or the attorney on record. Okay, so if this is your case and you need specific help, then reach out to me specifically, and I'll see how I can advise you further. Okay, Rag, I hope I answered your question. Okay. Let me see. Just looking at the questions. Jaga is saying, my family comes from Connecticut, but my mom was born in Poland, and me too. What are the chances for me to get citizenship, to get citizen? Well, if you can give me a little bit more information, what is your status? Where are you? Are you here in the US? In order to become a citizen, you first have to become a lawful permanent resident for 5 years. Okay, you have to be a green card holder for 5 years. So definitely give me a little bit more information about the question. I'm not sure I understood it. Okay, let's see. There's a question here. I have a 2-year green card and I renewed my green card, and my green card renewal is next month, but my husband left home. What can I do? Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you have a conditional 2-year green card and it's due for renewal. Definitely reach out to me or to another attorney to help you. If your husband is not helping you, you can file by yourself to remove the conditions on your green card. Okay, there's a way you can do it. You can file by yourself, but you have to have an attorney to assist you with this because it's a complicated filing. Okay, I would love to help you. You can call my office tomorrow morning. My number is 714-794-9366. Also in my bio, you can find that information and through my website, but definitely contact me or a different attorney to help you with that. Okay, because you don't want to miss the deadline. If you have a 2-year conditional green card, you must file before the 2 years expire. Okay, if not, then you risk losing your green card and being sent to deportation proceedings. Okay. Okay, let's see. Ahmed is asking, which situation asylee is included in public charges? If you're an asylee, you're not subject to the public charge for your adjustment of status, if that is your question. See, thank you for everyone that's joining now. If you're joining just now, I'm Attorney Yael Brudner, and I'm I'm answering immigration questions today. Okay, an immigration attorney. Let's see, there's a question here. I'm an international student. I did my bachelor and my master's here in the US, and now I'm doing my PhD. Okay. Is there a question? Well, good for you, first of all, for doing your bachelor's and master's, but let me know if you have any questions about that. Okay, there's a question here. I applied for N336 last August, got my notice later. I'm still waiting for the interview. Long delays, a lot of delays, so just be patient at this point. If you got a notice, received some kind of receipt from the USCIS, that means that their case is processing, so that's good. Okay. I'm a permanent resident. I applied for my wife back in April 2018. NVC approved docs. What can I do? Okay, so your wife is abroad if you're going through the NVC, and it sounds like you are already what's called document qualified, so you're ready to schedule an interview. What was the last that you've heard from the NVC? Right now, for the last almost year now, there have not been any interviews, and a lot of the consulates and embassies are closed and not issuing visas. In addition to that, until March 31st, there is a suspension on immigration for spouses of permanent residents. So what I would do is I would reach out to the NVC. They do have an email that you can email them and ask for a status on your case. Pretty much it's just probably the consulates are closed right now, but you can definitely reach out and try to get information from them. It also really depends from what country. Okay, let's see. I am reviewing all the questions. I'm sorry if I'm missing yours. They're going pretty quick here on TikTok. Okay, there's a question here. Hi, I applied for my U visa in 2016, but nothing yet. Yes, U visas are taking a lot of time right now, about 5 years, just to get deferred action on the U visas and work permits. So just wait at this point. Keep checking your case status. Not much to do at this point. It's a long wait. Okay. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, if you're just joining now, feel free to write them in the chat, in the messages, and I'll try to get to them. Okay, there's a question on Facebook here. Do you have an idea when the embassies abroad will open? That's a great question, the $1,000,000 questions. It depends on the conditions in the specific countries. Some countries already announced that they're starting to reopen again, but we don't know for sure exactly. Some countries have shut down and stay-at-home orders, and it's just really case by case. So what I recommend doing if you're waiting for a specific embassy, just go on their website, follow their Facebook page, follow their Twitter. A lot of times there's official announcements on those in those ways that you can find information. For example, Israel just announced that they will be resuming visas for some visas, issuances of the E2 and E1 visas. So that was great news for a lot of people that are waiting for those specifically at that embassy and specifically for that visa. So definitely just check the website for the specific embassy and follow them on social. Okay, let's see. There's a question here. I have an E2 status, Franco. I have an E2 status and I'm trying to get a green card. I renewed the E2 already, but every lawyer tells me to get married. Any other options? Well, us lawyers love foreigners falling in love with US citizens or green card holders because honestly, if that happens to happen, that's a really quick and easy way to get a green card. But other ways you can get a green card while you're on an E2 would be to either have an employer petition you for a green card or petition yourself. Do a national interest waiver petition, an EB2 green card. It's something worth checking to see if you would qualify for it. national interest waiver green card. With this green card, you do not need a petitioner, you don't need an employer, you don't need a sponsor. You are self-petitioning yourself based on the fact that you believe that it's in the interest of the United States to give you this green card. Now, I know it sounds like really, oh my gosh, what would be in the interest of the US to give me a green card? It would be surprising, some of the cases that get approved under national interest waiver. Okay, so if you're interested, feel free to reach out to see if we can help you with this. It's worth exploring. Another thing would be to upgrade to an EB-5 if you invested more than $1 million. If you invested $1 million and you have 10 employees here in the US. Okay, moving on. After 10 years of removal, does my US immigration start new, or is there a record? So I think you're maybe implying to the 10-year bar. Some people are subject to a 10-year bar, usually after they overstayed their stay here in the US for more than 1 year, or they had multiple entries back into the US without authorization. If you stay outside of the US for 10 years, you can apply for a new visa, and you do not actually need a waiver after the 10 years if you have the regular 10 years. If it's a permanent bar, then you do need to apply for permission to apply for a new visa. But generally, if you spend the 10 years outside, then you can immigrate again to the US. Okay, Westdock is asking, I have a question. I applied for citizenship back in June 2018, but I'm still waiting. So June 2018, that's a little while. That's more than 2 years. I would want to ask you, what's the status? Have you gone to biometrics? Where is your case pending? I would definitely reach out to USCIS to ask for a service request. So if your case has been pending for a very long time, outside the normal case processing times, okay, so USCIS, they advertise, they publish how long they think certain cases will take. It's always off. It's never really true. I don't really go off of it, but the only thing you can use it for, so let's say if they say citizenship takes between 12 and 15 months, and it's been 18 months, then you can formally put in a service request. And you can do this online at USCIS to have someone look into your case and get back to you with what's going on. Okay, I would definitely do that because it's been a while. Oh, okay. So you fixed it and you said, sorry, 2019. So I still think it's been a while. Citizenship is taking about a year to 15 months, maybe 18 months now with the delay. So I would still go in and check. Okay. Mohammed is asking, is it okay to travel overseas after applying for an 400? I'm waiting for the biometrics. That's a really great question. So you can travel, you have a green card, you're allowed to travel. Take into account two things. If you have a biometrics, make sure that, if you're waiting for the biometrics, make sure that the biometrics will get to someone that can, open the letter and help you with finding out the date for this so that you can ask to reschedule. Okay, because if you have a biometrics appointment when you're not in the country, then you would want to reschedule that. And the second thing is to make sure of how long you're outside the country. Because remember, when you file for citizenship, you have to make sure you haven't been abroad for too long. And the days after you apply for your citizenship, after the N-400 count. So at your interview, they're going to ask you for any trips abroad since you applied. Okay. So if you're close, if you had a lot of trips, if you're really, really close to the, minimum for applying, make sure you're not crossing that minimum. Okay. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me about that. Okay. There's a question here. I applied for citizenship for my parents in November 2020. Do you know how long it's going to for the test? About a year to a year and a half right now with citizenship. Do you think Biden will lift the ban? That's a really good question. I really hope. And then on Facebook, there's another question, the same direction. Do you expect any significant immigration changes with the incoming new administration? We are very hopeful that the new administration will make some significant changes in immigration. Specifically, will lift bans or immigration suspensions that were issued by executive order. Because an executive order, as quickly as they put them, the president, puts an executive order on place, a new president can cancel the executive order. Okay, it's not something that goes through Congress. It's not a whole, ordeal. It's pretty quick. Now, the Biden administration is going to have a lot on their plate, right? We're dealing with a massive pandemic. It's a lot. So we don't know how quickly we're going to see improvements, but we've already seen things like putting people in positions that are more pro-immigration than anti-immigration. We're hoping to see lifting of the executive orders, the bans on immigration, suspensions on immigration. We're hoping to see hiring more people, staffing more people throughout, all positions in the embassies, in the consulates. Right now, they're so low staffed. We don't know this for positive, for real, right? But we think it's all intentional. So we're hoping to see a lot of improvements in the new administration. So have another week. And after that, it could take some time, but in general, I think the whole approach to immigration will be a lot more favorable than it was the last 4 years, which it was really, really hard. Okay. So we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I'm going to wrap it up for today. Let's see. My initial first year OPT is expiring on February 2nd. Can I file for a STEM extension? Are you in a STEM field? You have to check if you qualify. Okay, if you qualify, make sure you're applying before the expiration of your current one. Check with their designated school official. Okay, check with this, check with them to see if you qualify. And if you qualify, you need to file soon. Sabine is asking, can I apply for an EB3 professional? I have 2 years of OPT remaining, currently working for the utility company. Yeah, you can. If you have an employer that is willing to petition you for an EB3 and you qualify for the EB3, then you can absolutely apply. It's actually a good time. If you have 2 years left on your OPT, then that's great timing because that will give you enough time for the EB3 that takes a while, depending on, again, what your priority date is, from what country you are. But having some time is always better, doing it earlier than later. If you qualify, your recent bachelor's, okay, yeah, you graduated, you have a bachelor's, then EB3 looks like the category that would fit for you. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up for tonight because it's getting a little late. If you have any questions and you want to contact me specifically and personally, I would love to talk to you, schedule a consultation for you and have a one-on-one evaluation of your case. You can call me at 714-794-9366 or reach out through our website, Facebook, send us a direct message. We'd love to hear from you. So in the meantime, have a great evening and I will see you guys all very soon.